Bachelor Grant Ellis showed signs of stress facing Litia's wrath. March 25, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Things got intense during the Bachelor season final Monday night. Grant Ellis had to make the tough decision of whether or not to propose to Litia or to Juliana Pasquarosa. Fans saw during the live finale that he chose Juliana. Litia did not take things lightly. She stood up to Grant at both the final rose ceremony and the after the final rose special. Now, an expert is weighing in on the body language Grant had while facing Litia's wrath. What did the expert share? Keep reading to get all the details. Bachelor Grant Ellis showed signs of stress speaking with Litia. Breakups are never easy, and Bachelor Grant Ellis showed that when he ended things with Litia. Throughout the season, body language experts have analyzed how Grant behaved at different points in his journey. At one point, the experts believed there was a strong chance that he would walk away single. They were wrong about that part. However, experts did weigh in on how things went with Grant and his breakup with Litia. Experts shared that it was obvious Grant was under a huge amount of stress when breaking up with Litia. When he proposed to Juliana and she accepted, his demeanor changed entirely, which is to be expected. The body language expert said, "During the end of the Bachelor finale, Grant shows every stress body language cue going, from rubbing his hand across his forehead to tugging on his chin and rubbing his hands together repeatedly. He shows that he is sweating, uncomfortable, and uneasy. He's unhappy to have to make the choice, and he is tense all the way through to one specific moment when it all changes. He was very upset when he had to let Litia down. The way he looked down and didn't make eye contact indicated that he wished he was anywhere but there." They continued to explain that the sadder Litia got, the more Grant tensed up. Fans saw sadness turn to anger. Bachelor fans quickly saw Litia's sadness turn to anger. She was not happy with Grant Ellis and how she felt blindsided by their sudden split. She believed she was going to get his final rose. Many fans were somewhat shocked at how she seemed so soft-spoken throughout the season and then seemed to flip a switch. As for Grant, he continued to show intense signs of stress and of wanting to get things over with. The expert said his hand rubbing is almost obsessive. He rubs his hands, showing how sweaty and tense he has become. Her anger continued onto the after the final rose special. She didn't hold back when telling Grant how he gave her reassurance was not okay if he knew she wasn't the one. Of course, nobody knows exactly what he was saying to Juliana Pasquarosa throughout it all as well. What do you think about the body experts' opinions of how Grant was acting? Do you think that Grant made the right choice? Stay tuned for more updates on all your Bachelor Nation favorites. The cameras had barely started rolling on the highly anticipated Bachelor Paradise Edition finale when Grant Ellis's normally charming smile began to falter. The golden-haired, chisel-jawed reality star had spent the last 8 weeks dazzling the audience with his smooth talk and heart-melting gaze. But tonight, something was different, something was off, and it all had to do with Litia. The beginning of the end. From the moment Litia stepped onto the tropical set of the show, she had been a fan favorite. With her piercing brown eyes, silky dark curls, and an attitude that commanded attention, she wasn't the kind of woman who took rejection lightly. Viewers had watched, week after week, as she and Grant formed what appeared to be a deep and passionate connection. Until, in the penultimate episode, Grant did the unthinkable. He chose someone else. Litia's reaction had been explosive. The audience had never seen such raw, unfiltered emotion on the show before. She stormed off set, furious tears rolling down her face, vowing that this wasn't over. And tonight, she was back. A host's warning. Host Chris Manning, an industry veteran known for keeping contestants in line, had pulled Grant aside just before the live taping of the finale. "You good, man?" he asked, a rare note of concern in his usually robotic voice. Grant swallowed hard. Yeah, why? Chris gave him a knowing look. Because Litia's here, and she's got something planned. A cold bead of sweat trickled down Grant's temple. He knew Litia. He knew her fire, her determination. He had seen it in the way she played the game, winning over not just him, but millions of viewers. He had seen it in the way she kissed him, fiercely as if marking him as hers. And now, he was afraid. The showdown. The audience held their breath as Litia walked onto the stage, her silver gown shimmering under the spotlights. She looked stunning, she looked powerful, but most of all, she looked angry. Grant, seated in the bachelor's chair, shifted uncomfortably. He tried to meet her gaze, but the fire in her eyes made him look away. So, she began, her voice silky smooth. Grant, you've had quite the season. He forced a smile. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Wild. She echoed, her tone sharp as a knife. That's one way to put it. The audience murmured. Chris Manning subtly scooted his chair back, as if preparing for impact. Litia leaned forward. Tell me, Grant, did you ever mean anything you said to me, or was I just another name on your list? Grant opened his mouth, but no words came out. He wasn't prepared for this level of confrontation. The camera zoomed in on the sheen of sweat, now forming on his brow. The audience was eating it up. The viral moment. What happened next would go down in reality television history. Litia didn't scream, she didn't cry. Instead, she reached into the folds of her gown and pulled out a neatly folded piece of paper. This, she said, unfolding it, is a love letter you wrote me during week 4. Remember this, Grant? His face turned ghostly pale. He did remember. I want you to read it. Out loud. Grant hesitated. Chris Manning cleared his throat. Oh, we don't have to. Litia shot him a look that could kill. Oh, we absolutely do. The audience roared in approval. The producers, sensing reality TV gold, let it happen. Grant took the paper with trembling fingers. His voice, normally smooth and confident, cracked as he read. Litia, I've never met anyone like you. When I look at you, the rest of the world disappears. I can't imagine my future without you. You're the one. Silence. Then, Litia laughed. It was a sharp, humorless sound that sent chills down the spines of everyone in the room. You're the one, huh? She repeated, venom dripping from her voice. Funny, because you told Harper the exact same thing last episode. Gasps. Someone in the audience actually screamed. Grant looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. He had been caught, exposed. Litia had played her final card, and it had been a checkmate. The aftermath. The next day, the clip had gone viral. Memes flooded the internet. Grant Sweat became an official hashtag. Litia was hailed as a queen, a warrior for every woman who had ever been lied to. Meanwhile, Grant's reputation took a nosedive, his social media flooded with furious comments. He released a statement, of course, something about editing and misunderstandings. But the damage was done. Litia, on the other hand, she walked away victorious, and when the next season of Bachelorette was announced, it was her name in the title. Because in the game of love and revenge, Litia had just proven she played to win.